Did you know there's a smarter way to organize your retirement income stream so you never stress over cash flow? Well, there is, and I'm going to tell you about it. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Gallivanting Kendall. I'm Kendall Clement. Welcome to all my subscribers, old and new. I truly appreciate your support of my channel. And just so you know where I'm coming from, I have been living fire here in the Philippines for several years now. I'm not talking about it on spreadsheets. I actually live fire day to day. Today, I want to talk to you about something that sounds simple, but quietly determines whether fire feels calm and sustainable or stressful and fragile. Hit like and subscribe, and let's ride. A lot of people technically reach fire and still feel anxious about money. They still feel tight month to month. They still feel like one unexpected expense could throw everything off. And most of the time, that stress has nothing to do with not having enough money. It has to do with structure. When most people imagine retirement or early retirement, they imagine one big pile of money, one number that everything revolves around, one account balance that somehow magically pays for housing, food, travel, health care, and enjoyment for the rest of their lives. You save, you invest, you grind, you track, and eventually you hit that number. And there is this expectation that once you cross that line, something inside of you relaxes. The stress disappears. The worry fades. You wake up one morning and suddenly you feel free. But that is not how it usually works in real life. What actually happens for a lot of people is that the paycheck stops and the anxiety starts. They look at that same pile of money they were excited about, and now every withdrawal feels heavy. Every expense feels like it's pulling against the future. Even small purchases trigger internal debates, and people start wondering why fire does not feel the way they thought it would. The reason is not because fire is flawed. The reason is because money doesn't like being treated as one thing. Money has timing, money has purpose, money has different jobs. And when you ask one pile of money to do all those jobs at the same time, your nervous system never fully relaxes. Your brain does not know what money is safe to spend, what money needs to stay untouched, and what money is meant to grow quietly in the background. Everything feels risky because everything is connected. Living fire overseas made this incredibly obvious to me. Yes, costs are lower. Yes, the lifestyle can be more relaxing, but life is also more fluid. Currency values change. Healthcare expenses do not arrive on a neat schedule. Travel happens. Visas need attention. Family needs pop up. Life keeps moving. And if your money is not organized properly, you can feel constantly on edge, even while living what looks like a dream from the outside. That is why I stopped thinking about fire money as one thing and started thinking about it as three separate buckets. Not as a financial product, not as some complicated system, but as a way to stay calm while actually living this life. The first bucket is what I call living money. This is your day-to-day operating money. This is the money that exists to be spent. Rent, groceries, transportation, utilities, phone, internet, subscriptions, eating out, small pleasures, a beer now and then, normal life. This bucket is not precious. It is not protected. It is meant to move. Its job is to support your daily life without guilt, hesitation, or constant second guessing. One of the biggest psychological mistakes people make after reaching fire is that they never emotionally shift into living mode. They say they are financially independent, but they still treat every dollar like it is dangerous. They hesitate before buying basic things. They replay spending decisions in their head. They feel guilty for enjoying themselves. They feel like they're doing something wrong by living the life they planned for. That is not discipline. That is unresolved scarcity thinking. And it is exhausting. When you clearly define living money, something important happens. Your brain relaxes. You know exactly what this money is for. You know its limits. You know its rhythm. You stop negotiating with yourself over every expense because you are no longer stealing from your future. You are using money that was explicitly assigned to the present. That clarity removes an enormous amount of background stress. When I first started living abroad, this was one of the biggest adjustments I had to make. Not the math, but the mindset. Once I separated living money from everything else, daily life became calmer almost immediately. I could enjoy where I was without constantly running background calculations in my head. I stopped feeling like every meal or small purchase was a referendum on my future. The second bucket. The second bucket is what I call buffer money. This is the quiet hero of FIRE. This is the bucket that makes the whole thing work long term. Buffer money is not investment money. It is not daily spending money. It exists for one reason: stability. This is the money that absorbs shocks so your life does not wobble every time something unexpected happens. And here is where a lot of people misunderstand it. Buffer money is not just for emergencies. It is for friction. Life has friction. A slow month, a delayed payment, a currency move, a repair that happens earlier than planned, a trip that becomes necessary instead of optional. These are not emergencies. They are just life. And if you do not have money specifically assigned to handle friction, every one of these moments feels like a threat. When you live FIRE, especially lean or mid-range FIRE, buffer money becomes incredibly important. If your buffer is too small, your nervous system knows it, even if your spreadsheet looks perfect. You start making defensive decisions, you avoid opportunities, you delay changes that would actually improve your life, you stay in situations longer than you should because change feels risky. That quiet stress accumulates over time. I learned this lesson the hard way early on. There were periods where nothing was technically wrong, but everything felt fragile. And the reason was not income, it was buffer. Once that bucket was clearly defined and respected, everything changed. Decisions became easier, stress dropped. I stopped feeling like every disruption was a threat to my entire future. Buffer money is not meant to grow aggressively. It is not meant to impress anyone. It is not meant to be optimized. It is meant to sit there and do nothing beautifully. Its job is to buy you time. Its job is to let you sleep. Its job is to keep your nervous system out of constant fight or flight mode. The third bucket is growth money. This is the bucket that gets the most attention because it makes you feel excited. It's exciting to watch. This is your invested capital. This is the money that compounds over time. Index funds, dividend-producing assets, businesses, content, anything that grows quietly in the background while you live your life. But here is the part most people miss. Growth money only works emotionally if the other two buckets are already doing their jobs. If you try to grow money that you secretly need for stability or daily life, you will sabotage yourself. You will panic during normal market movement. You will check balances too often. You will make reactive decisions that hurt long-term outcomes. Growth money needs psychological distance. You need to know deep in your body that this money is not required to solve next month or next year's problems. Only then can it actually do what it is supposed to do. When growth money is properly isolated, you stop interfering with it. You let time do the heavy lifting. This is why two people with the same net worth can have completely different fire experiences. One feels calm and confident, the other feels constantly on edge. The difference is not the number, it is the structure. When these three buckets are clearly defined, behavior changes without effort. You stop micromanaging yourself, you stop feeling guilty for living, you stop feeling reckless for growing. Each bucket has a role, and you let it play that role. Money becomes a system instead of a constant source of decision fatigue. This is also why rigid fire calculators often fail in the real world, especially for people living abroad. They assume one pile of money is doing everything at once. That model collapses under real-life conditions. Life is dynamic. Costs change. Locations change. Health changes. Priorities change. Fire has to be flexible or it breaks. When you structure your money into these three buckets, you build that flexibility in by design. You are not just financially independent. You are operationally independent. You are no longer reacting to money. You are directing it. And here is the quiet part nobody talks about. This structure protects your identity. When your spending money is separate from your future money, you stop feeling like your worth is constantly being tested by your bank balance. You can be present. You can enjoy your life. You can make decisions based on values instead of fear. That is the real win of fire. Not early retirement, not escape, but sovereignty over your time, your attention, and your nervous system. If you are early in your journey, do not overthink this. You do not need perfection. You need clarity. Even small buckets are powerful if they are clearly defined. Even modest buffers are stabilizing if they are respected. And if you are already living fire and feeling unsettled, this is often the missing piece. Not more money, better structure. This framework is how I run my own life. It is how I stay calm while building things. It is how I avoid the feast and famine mindset. And it is why fire feels livable instead of brittle. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. And as always, take care of each other and give somebody a great day.